Good evening once again to all of you, and welcome this evening. Beautiful day after many days of rain, and we hope the summer is beginning. And we have an interesting lecture today. We are going to talk about vitamins and why I picked this subject, because summer is coming and there are a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables are coming, and it's a season when it's time to take those vitamins and to kind of refill for the winter after. So it's time to take your vitamins. This is the title of our study tonight. Before we move on into the vitamins and what we are going to discuss about them and how we should eat, and we are going to discuss pros and cons in regard to food supplements or multivitamins, what is very popular today, I would like to touch some historical background. How actually the scientists or physicians came to understanding what is vitamins. For example, if remembering the Fernando Magellan, who he almost achieved the around the globe voyage, from the hundreds of people who left Spain, only 18 came back. And most of them did not die in a war or conflicts with some tribes there. Most of them died from scurvy. And the point is that on the way back, the ship Victoria, the last one which was on the way to Spain, they were carrying a whole room full of lemons to Spain to sell it. And they were dying from scurvy. They just didn't know. They just didn't know that vitamin C is right there beneath their feet. You know, just eat a lemon per day and you're fixed. Only 250 years later, the British explorer Captain James Cook, who so believed that he discovered the continent called Australia, he understood that he must change a diet because there were some scientific researches in that regard that depending on what you eat, you either quicker get this disease, or you may delay its, or kind of shut down its symptoms. So what he forced his command is to eat a sauerkraut, which contains vitamin C. But the point is that his team, those who were not officers, they thought that he is abusing them, and they rebelled. So we are not going to eat this. Then he used a trick. He removed sauerkraut from their table, from their menu, but he kept it on the tables of officers, including himself. So when the sailors saw that the officers and the captain himself, they preserved that, or they kept that sauerkraut on the table, they decided it's actually a very good food, because now it became kind of a food of a noble. So later, it took years and centuries for doctors finally recognize scurvy, beriberi, rickets, pellagra as specific food deficiencies. So they understood that these are not diseases caused by bacteria, even there was no understanding of bacteria yet, but due to some toxins or the polluted air, or as it was believed before. So they realized there is something in food that if I eat, I'm healthy. And if I do not eat those particular articles of food, I get sick of either of these diseases. So finally, in 1912, Dr. Casimir Fang detected active properties in unpolished rice husks. So he called them vitamins. From Latin vitals, I mean vitally important, and amines, organic derivatives of ammonia. So he believed that all vitamins are based on ammonia, which became to be wrong later, but the word vitamins was introduced to the science and to the medicine in 1912. So this is what just a historical background for you to understand what is vitamins. So vitamins, as you already know, it's something that we need to eat and something crucially important for our health. So what are vitamins, speaking from today's point of view, scientifical? It's a group of organic compounds that are essential for normal growth and nutrition of the human body. And your body cannot produce vitamins itself, so you must get them through food or in some cases supplements. It's interesting that we cannot produce vitamins. I don't know how true and how deep was that research done, but I read that there was a research done that dogs can produce vitamins C by themselves, so they don't need to eat it. So therefore, dogs are not eating citrus and lemons or something like that because their bodies can produce or generate vitamin C, which is interesting. I wish my body also could produce vitamin C. And let's go to some facts on vitamins. There are 13 known vitamins, and I say known because scientists are still working on it. You know, only in around 1950s, there was the first production of a vitamin, if I'm not mistaken, it was one of the group B vitamins. So later, after each decade, they were discovering new and new things about vitamins, and they started to use A, B, C, D, and so on. So, and there is a group B, naming B1, B2, and so on. So now there is vitamin K. Now they are talking about vitamin M, which is still in process to be discovered and approved to be the vitamin M. So there are many, and I believe they will discover even more nutrients, something more essential. Says, we didn't know about that, that it's very healthy to eat. Vitamins are either water-soluble, B group and C, or fat-soluble, A, D, E, and K. I'm talking about known vitamins. Fat-soluble vitamins are easier for the body to store than water-soluble. Therefore, fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin E or D, they can be accumulated in our body. But vitamin C cannot be accumulated, so I always need to eat something fresh, fruits or vegetables. But we'll talk about that later more. And for you to understand, just in case you didn't know, minerals are not vitamins, like calcium, iron, potassium. Those are not vitamins. Those are minerals. Some more facts about the vitamins. Vitamins do not directly serve as source of energy. If some people, they have kind of misunderstanding, so they take multivitamins because they think it will energize them. This is wrong. Vitamins do not give any energy. It's not carbohydrates. While vitamins, they only, for example, speaking of vitamin A, I'll briefly go through some vitamin. Deficiency may cause night blindness and eye disorder that results in a dry cornea. So if you have a dry eyes, if you have problems seeing, driving at night, you need to consider taking some vitamins A. And the number one source of vitamin A is carrot, broccoli, sweet potato, kale, spinach, pumpkin, apricot, cantaloupe, melon. For example, vitamin B, or so-called B1, but it's just called B. Deficiency may cause beriberi. Beriberi is a word used in general for deficiency of any vitamins, but later it was narrowed down just to this vitamin B. So it's a fast heart rate, shortness of breath, and leg swelling, numbness of the hands and feet, confusion, trouble moving the legs and pain, and Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. Basically, this syndrome is rare to the people who do not drink alcohol. but those who drink alcohol, yeah, they really suffer from deficiency of vitamin B, and which is described as a unique syndrome by these physicians. Good source: yeast, cereal grains, sunflower seeds, brown rice, whole grain rye, asparagus, kale, cauliflower, potatoes, and oranges. It's interesting that if deficiency of these vitamins is mostly suffered in what we call in America third world countries, because of the very primitive and food they eat. The food is not supplying everything that they need for their body, and therefore this is a very popular problem in those countries, the deficiency of vitamin B1. In America, even if you don't eat a lot of raw, this particular vitamin you get enough because it's added to all the cereals. It's added to a lot of even processed food, they add this vitamin. So we are actually not to be worried about these particular vitamins. There are some other we have to be worried about. We'll talk later. Vitamin B12 deficiency results in stomatitis, including painful red tongue with sore throat, chapped and fissured lips, and inflammation of the corners of the mouth. There can be skin rashes, the eyes can become itchy and watery. Even mild to moderate riboflavin, which is another name of this vitamin B2 deficiency, results in anemia. Basically, this vitamin is, or all the vitamins from group B, helps us to produce healthy blood and enough of our red cells to carry oxygen. And not only enough in the quantity, but being able to carry. Because if we'll later talk about B12, so we can have enough in quantity of our red cells, but they are losing their ability to carry the oxygen to our cells from the lungs. Good source is asparagus, bananas, persimmons, green beans, yogurt, eggs. Vitamin B3 may cause pellagra with symptoms of diarrhea, dermatitis, and mental disturbance. Avocado, dates, tomatoes, leafy vegetables, broccoli, carrots, sweet potatoes, and nuts, whole grain, mushrooms, brewer's yeast. B5 may cause paresthesia or pins and needles in hands or feet. So it's like when suddenly you feel something like somebody pinched you, or somebody like put a needle in your toe, or this kind of strange feeling. So consider that you may not have enough vitamin B5, which is whole grain, but the problem is that milling may remove it. So white bread doesn't have it. So whole grain, broccoli, avocado. Vitamin B6 also, again, is related to our healthy blood, to say simply in a simple way. May cause anemia, peripheral neuropathy, which is actually damaging the nerves besides the brain and the spinal cord, so the peripheral nervous system. So they are damaged, and this may cause a weakness in muscles. Bananas, whole grain, vegetables, and nuts, the good source of them. Vitamin B7 deficiency may cause dermatitis or enteritis or inflammation of the intestine, depression, general weakness. Vegetables, fruits, whole grains. Very important here. Daily intake to be increased if consuming food with preservatives. Preservatives, which is commonly used in all the food which is sold in the shelves in our grocery stores, they kill this vitamin. They put a blockage into absorption. No, they don't. It's not literally kill the vitamin, because vitamin is not a virus to be killed. But I'm just using this kind of simple language. But they put a blockage in the intestine, and they prevent absorption of these vitamins, the preservatives used in food. B9, the deficiency during pregnancy is linked to the birth defects, gastrointestinal disorders. leafy vegetables, legumes, some grain products, and sunflower seeds. Several fruits have moderate amounts. So basically, beans, soy, lentils, they are rich with this vitamin, and leafy vegetables like spinach, all of them. B12. This vitamin is very important and crucial for our healthy blood, for the red cells, giving them capability to carry oxygen from the lungs to our cells through the body. And some other symptoms may cause megaloblastic anemia, which is, I just said, and digestion disorders, constipation, depression, chronic fatigue, headache. They're good source: eggs, dairy products, specifically the fermented dairy products like plain yogurt, kefir, and some fortified cereals and soy products, nutritional yeast. Vitamin C. Deficiency is weak immune system. It's number one. If you are lacking vitamin C, all the flus, all our colds will be yours. And even and if you have more deficiency, then severe infections may cause megaloblastic anemia as well. Good source: raw fruits and vegetables. Cooking destroys vitamin C. This particular vitamin is to be taken in raw fruits and vegetables, not steamed, not little bit cooked, raw. Vitamin D. Some people, they take even the vitamin D from fish and food supplements, which is absolutely waste of money and energy. Vitamin D is generated in our skin under the direct rays of sunlight. You need vitamin D? Take a walk in the park in a t-shirt, expose yourself to the sunlight, and you'll have a vitamin D later. So if that picture illustrates your room where you sleep or where you spend most of your time, this is wrong. Open the windows. Let those rays of sunlight reach your room. Vitamin E. Deficiency makes you look and feel older than your age. I generalize this in one phrase. Good source: kiwi fruit, almonds, avocado, nuts, leafy green vegetables, unheated vegetable oils, whole grains. I specify unheated vegetable oils. So I just went briefly through well-known or long-time discovered and vitamins, which is, you can find this information in internet a lot more about each vitamin. So they are well described in the literature, and scientists work on them for years. So there is a lot of information available on these vitamins. So I'm not going through all the vitamins like K and vitamin P and so on. But I would like to talk my main study today is actually begins now. So is there an easy fix? How about if I just go to the health food store, buy that multivitamins, and deal done? Is that easy? No. It's not that easy. Unfortunately, for many people, that spoon of capsules and tablets and whatever is on that spoon, this is their daily routine. Unfortunately, instead of eating the real food, they think that if they take a spoon of that, that will supply what they need. In many vitamins, it really works. Let us go into details. There are pros and cons in using food supplements as multivitamins, or maybe not multivitamins, or semi-multivitamins, which contains most of the vitamins, or just vitamins of a group B, or vitamins of combination A and C, and so on. There are three main points to be considered, and I will explain this in a while. Number one, poor disintegration rate. Multivitamins and food supplements, most of them, they have poor disintegration rate. What is this? I'm going to speak in a minute. Chemicals are used in production, and they destroy the effect of vitamins. And we'll talk in a minute about that in details. And poor formulations. What is that? We'll speak. So, number one, poor disintegration rate. What is disintegration? When we eat food, it has to be decomposed, disintegrated in our body into the very particles in order to be absorbed into intestine through the cells, through the tissues, into the bloodstream. So this process is called disintegration. So disintegration rate is actually defined as the degree and rate at which a compound is absorbed into a living system. Basically, for the vitamins to be absorbed and to be beneficial for our body is up to 20 minutes. They have to be disintegrated and absorbed. Otherwise, they just feed our flora in the colon. They are not absorbed if they exceed 20 or 30 minutes limit. I mean, while in intestine, I'm not talking 20 minutes from here, but when they get into intestine, they have to be absorbed quickly. Different vitamins and minerals have different absorption rates, regardless of whether they come from a tablet, liquid, powder, or food. According to the physician's desk reference, the contents of both capsules and pills, which make up the majority of multivitamins sales, are only 10 to 20% absorbed by the body, while liquid formulas are the most absorbable, up to 98%. So multivitamins, if they are in tablets, in pills, they are barely absorbed. Only 10, maximum 20% for the capsules, and only due that in a capsule, they're in a kind of semi-powder form, they absorbed. Liquid is absorbed way quickly. Almost all of it is absorbed. But there is a problem with the liquids, and we'll talk a little bit later. According to a study published in the Journal of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Scientists, Dr. Reimer Löbenberg examined 49 well-known commercially available multivitamins that were in both tablet and capsule form to determine if they could release their contained macronutrients within a 20-minute time period, the time necessary for potential absorption. The results showed that out of the 49 multivitamins studied, 25, which actually 51%, did not disintegrate within the allotted 20-minute window. So basically, most of the multivitamins on the shelves in the stores, they're useless. It's a waste of money. So I believe that I'm trying to be as simple as possible, but I hope you understood me, that there is a time when certain vitamins or certain microelements, they have to be absorbed in the intestine. If they are not absorbed, if something is blocking that absorption, and what can create a blockage, we're going to discuss starting from the next slide, that has to be eliminated. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time and money. Chemicals used in production. Many supplements contain excipients, binders, fillers, and flow agents that can be used to either make the ingredients stick together or bulk products up to a convenient size. So you can make it that tablet smaller so you can swallow it. These can contribute to the poor disintegration rates. So now you know what is poor disintegration rate. Means that vitamin cannot be, those pills cannot be disintegrated that quickly, and therefore the essential components, nutrients, are not absorbed, and it just goes through. Some companies coat their multivitamins with shellac and wax, which keeps the moisture out, so they will have a longer shelf life. These coatings decrease the solubility of a multivitamin tablet or capsule, reducing its ability to readily disintegrate. When you take many of those tablets, when you take, they're shiny, right? Why they're shiny? They're covered to protect from moisture. Yes, it will stay for half a year on the shelf, or maybe up to a year. But the point is, what's the benefit for my body? None. Some manufacturers add sweeteners to make supplements more appetizing. And here what we are going to go back to the liquid form. You remember that we were talking about the disintegration rate. Liquids are the best, right? But if you combine vitamins into liquid, it's going to have a very bitter taste. Therefore, what they do, they add sugar or artificial flavors. And it is even worse in many chewable gummy and liquid vitamins on the market. Why? Because they have to add a lot of sugar and a lot of artificial flavoring to taste like a cherry, to taste like a strawberry, so people would be able to swallow it. Otherwise, they would not buy, because if this company sells something which tastes better than my company sells, then I will produce something which tastes even better. So I will add more sugar and more flavors to that. Is there any benefit for you? For me, definitely. My company will grow. These commonly genetically modified sweeteners block micronutrients from being absorbed into the body as well. High fructose corn syrup contributes to deficiencies in chromium, magnesium, zinc, and copper, while sugar blocks the absorption of vitamin C, calcium, and magnesium. Why many children get easy sick of flus, of colds, and some infections? Sore throat, bronchitis. Parents feed them with vitamin C or take some vitamin C. But if they take them right after candies or candies right after vitamins, zero effect. Sugar destroys, it's not destroying the vitamin, but they blocks the absorption of vitamin C. Now, another point which is concern in regard to multivitamins and food supplements: poor formulations. After years of focusing on single nutrients, nutrition researchers began to focus on whole foods, finding that food is more than just a sum of its nutrient parts. So it's not simply that you can decompose food. Okay, we know this, we know this, we know this. Okay, this is A, oh, this is vitamin B. Okay, this is zinc. Okay, this is potassium, and this is vitamin E. The point is that take 100 years ago, did scientists knew all this about food? No. How about 100 years from now? I guarantee they will discover something new. Something that they thought, oh, we didn't think about that. But finally, scientists are looking into food in general, not just particular, already by now discovered particles. So instead of taking a handful of vitamins each day, the advice that came down the scientific pipeline was eating a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables every day has superior health benefits because of the synergy of food. What is synergy of food? The food was designed by Creator in such a way that vitamins and microelements and other chemicals which are not discovered yet, those oils which add the taste or the flavor, all in combination help one another so it easily digested and well absorbed into our body. So basically, when we are talking about, let me read this first. The National Institute of Health spent $2.4 billion studying vitamins and supplements only to find out they really don't work. Peter A. Cohen, medical doctor, writes in JAMA, during the past 2 decades, a steady stream of high-quality studies evaluating dietary supplements has yielded predominantly disappointing results about potential health benefits, whereas evidence of harm has continued to accumulate. So they actually started to discover that many of those multivitamins, they have more than you need for daily intake. So basically, thinking that the more the better, using this principle, the more the better, they put too many vitamins into those capsules, and because they are big, they recommend you to take 2-3 times a day. So you're overtaking the amount of vitamins you need daily, and that causing some vitamins causing intoxication for the body. Marjorie McCullough, Strategic Director of Nutritional Epidemiology for the American Cancer Society, writes in the New York Times, it is possible that the chemicals in the fruits and vegetables on your plate work together in ways that scientists don't fully understand and which can't be replicated in a tablet. And there she continues. Half of an apple has the antioxidants activity of 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C, even though it contains only 5.7 milligrams of the vitamin. That's because the phytochemicals that surround vitamin C in apple enhance its effect. The food, as it comes natural, you take apple, for example, or you take broccoli, the phytochemicals, or you take even mango. Why it make to taste mango? Those phytochemicals, those oils on the skin. For example, even if you take orange, have you ever played this way? You know, I remember we were playing like kids. You take the peel of the orange, you put a candle, and you squeeze like this, and the oils goes like that, and you make a fire of that oil. And you have that pleasant smell. So when you squeeze the peel of an orange, it becomes very oily. Those oils, those phytochemicals, they make it to taste like orange, or like mango, or like any other vegetable or fruit. And those, what we were talking previously, it's a synergy. So one thing helps another thing. Phytochemicals help vitamin C to be absorbed. Some microelements, like iron, for example, helps absorption of vitamin B12, and vice versa. I have to quote here Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb yielding seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, And every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for food. I believe that from the beginning, Creator made or compound those fruits and vegetables in such a way that when you eat, everything works for the benefit of the other. This is what is scientifically called food synergy. You cannot achieve that in a tablet. Now, conclusion in regard to food supplements. I'm not saying it's absolutely wrong. Sometimes when we need a boost, or like when a lady is pregnant, or we are dealing with some disease, we have a cold or a flu, yes, we need extra boost. But to use food supplements as a daily routine, this is waste of money. Take it in a powder if you decide to take multivitamins or food supplements, most preferable, or liquid form. But you remember about the liquids. Avoid products that contain sugar, corn syrup, binders, fillers, excipients, artificial colors, and preservatives. So if you as a grandma or mother buy for your child these chewable multivitamins for children, yes, they can eat them as a candies, but no more. They work as a good candies, but not as a source of vitamins. Very little of that, minimum of that, is absorbed because of the sugar, because of the artificial flavors, preservatives, and other chemicals going with it. Food supplements are not to substitute fresh fruits and vegetables, and we already discussed why. Now, another question I would like to talk to you tonight. Raw or cooked in regard to vitamins. If I make a soup, are all the vitamins destroyed? Steaming, frying, what is preferable? I mean, what should I eat raw? What should I eat cooked? Should I eat beans and rice raw? Are all the vitamins destroyed if cooked? What do you think? Well, let's see. I don't have time to bring all the scientific research. I just compound them in the short phrases, for you to easily understand. You remember we were talking fat-soluble vitamins, which is A, D, E, and K. They preserve about 90% of their properties if they're cooked. But if they're cooked in about 100 degrees Celsius, or you see, I'm still thinking European, Celsius, which is about what, 200 Fahrenheit boiling point, 204, no? What is the boiling point for Fahrenheit? So, boiling, temperature of a boiling water. If you cook that food in a microwave, or if you cook that food on a fry pan, if you're frying, then definitely the heat goes beyond that temperature, and those vitamins are destroyed. But if you make a soup and you use those vegetables which contains these vitamins, they are preserved. Their nutrients are preserved. For water-soluble vitamins like B group or C, it depends on temperature and time. It really depends what is the heat and how long they are exposed to the heat. Some of the vitamins, for example, like specifically vitamin B6, is discovered that when it's cooked, again, not on a fry pan or in microwave, but when it's steamed, for example, like a steaming vegetables, or it's baked in the oven in slow mode, not overheated, then some of their elements are actually easily digested than if you take it raw. Now, very important, vitamin C and B9 are most sensitive vitamins More than 90% is destroyed if cooked, specifically vitamin C. Up to 60% is lost in tossed, peel, and if chopped into small pieces or processed on a grater. So if you use blender, vitamin C, a lot of it, up to 60%, is destroyed. If you chop it in a very small pieces, that onion or whatever you chop, spinach, that is destroyed. This is why even when you come here, every Saturday we have here a fellowship lunch, and everything begins with a big bowl of salad. And some people say, why those leaves, they tear them so big? There is a point why we keep them big. Because if we chop them small, we destroy vitamin C. Some of B vitamins are preserved up to 50% if cooking time is short and the dish is served right away. If you cook something, put in a refrigerator, and then reheat it for eating, no vitamins. Some of the vitamins are from a group B, except for B9 and vitamin C, they are up to 50% are preserved if they are steamed or not cooked in microwave or on a fry pan. So if you decided to cook, steaming is the best way to go. First of all, because steaming, that heat, yes, if you put your hand over a steaming, you can burn yourself. But the point is that when usually people steam vegetables, even that piece of broccoli or whatever you put there, piece of a potato, that heat is not penetrating through the whole piece of that vegetable. Therefore, it's not thoroughly cooked, and a lot of vitamins and their nutrients are preserved. Frying is the worst way of cooking. Why? Vitamin E even becomes toxic if fried. Vegetable oils becomes toxic if they are fried. Therefore, when you buy vegetable oils like grapeseed oil or olive oil for your salads, make sure it states there on the bottle, cold press, not refined. Drop vegetables in already boiling water. If you're making a soup, make the water boil first, and then drop the carrot, potato, whatever you're dropping there into soup. And let it boil for not more than 5 minutes. Turn the heat off and put a top on the pot. Just cover it up. And in half an hour, it will become soft. All the vegetables, but thus you preserve a lot of vitamins. So don't put and wait until it's slowly heated from the beginning. Do not overcook. In other words, I will repeat myself. Do not cook in the microwave. That causing overheating. By the way, some people have a fear of microwave. Just as a note, a little bit about the microwave. There is a background for that, to fear microwave, but some of the fears are fake fears. They don't have a scientific proof for that. First of all, we have to understand that if you cook in a microwave, those waves, they are not X-rays. They are not harmless for our body if the microwave door is sealing well the microwave. So for example, how to test? You heat a microwave, something, let's say, for 3, 4, 5 minutes. Open the door and immediately touch around the door. If you feel somewhere a warm spot, it means that it's not sealing properly. That microwave has to be replaced by a better one or a newer one. If you don't feel it, it means it's sealing well. It means it's not dangerous for you. to heat something which already cooked and doesn't have vitamins, it's not dangerous. But if you want to preserve vitamins, microwave is not the way to go, because those rays, microwaves, they bring those molecules into such a motion that very high temperature is generated inside of whatever you're heating there, and vitamins are destroyed. Serve it fresh. Even if you cook it, serve it fresh as much as possible. So the conclusion of our study tonight, before we move on into the next part, and some food demo, summer is coming. It's time when on the market, and you'll see berries, you'll see fresh apples. By the way, you know that even those apples what we have in the store today, those apples were not grown up recently, unless they imported from South America, when now is the end of the summer and they are fall now there, and they're harvesting apples. If those apples were grown up here in Virginia orchards, they're just preserved because they're sprayed with the wax. But vitamin C is gone from them. Vitamin C, as I told you, is the very sensitive vitamin. If you keep fresh vegetables and fruits for a long time, they lose the vitamin C. Therefore, when it's season, eat those things, fruits and vegetables, when it's season. Give your immune system a boost of vitamin C. And keep in mind, less cooking, do not overheat, do not fry, and food as it was created by God, the best source of vitamins. This is the end of my lecture. I'm open for your questions.